You want to make a man fall in love with you, and I mean chase you, think only about you, and delete all the other women from his phone. Now, fair warning, this isn't just going to change your dating life. I'm about to show you is the secret to becoming magnetic in every area of your life. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. It has absolutely nothing with how you look, how you dress, or what you say. It's something completely different. I'm going to tell you about these 7 dark secrets to make you magnetic. And don't worry, this isn't trickery or games. So let's go straight into it. And let me clear my whiteboard right here so we can get to drawing. So the most magnetic people I know aren't the prettiest. They're not the most put together. They're the ones who genuinely feel good about themselves. Self-love is so important in being magnetic. When you walk into the room and you're feeling confident, you are who you are, and people notice. It's not about arrogance. It's not being like all cocky and with a bunch of bravado. It's not trying to prove anything. It's being comfortable in your own skin. And it's that confidence that's really rare. Most people are so busy trying to be what other people want them to be that they have to think, oh, how do I have to appear in this room? Oh, they forget to actually be themselves. And when you encounter somebody with authentic confidence, it's magnetic. It's that self-love that makes you so magnetic because you won't put up with, crappy boundaries. You won't put up with bad treatment because you have so much love for yourself. So let's go into number 2. And this is, I don't know, my board not clearing. This is curiosity over judgment. And this one, truthfully, this is one I struggle with. So, I ain't perfect by any means. I just explained the rules to you. So the women who attract secure, emotionally helpful men share one trait in that they're genuinely curious about other people. It's usually when you find yourself impressed with somebody, it's not somebody that's constantly talking about all of their accomplishments. It's usually somebody that listens a lot and makes you feel important. And that is something so important. And so when you're meeting somebody new, are you looking for reasons to be like, this guy's a loser, get him out of here? Or are you trying to understand who they are, where they come from, and how they might be a benefit to your life? Not in like a Machiavellian way, but in a way to be like, you know what? I'm always looking for new opportunities. I'm full of energy. I'm full of self-love. I'm full of optimism. The universe is always sending good things my way. So are you scanning for red flags? Or are you getting excited about green flags? It's not wrong to look for red flags, but people can feel the difference when you're actively trying to like beat people down and be like, yeah, you ever been to a party in LA? I personally never been to a party in LA, but I know the stereotype is like people are constantly looking over your shoulder, constantly looking for the bigger and better thing. Don't do that. Make people feel comfortable, make them feel like you care about their life, and people can feel that difference. I'm sure you felt this difference in the past. Is when somebody approaches you with genuine curiosity rather than judgment, you naturally open up to them. You feel safe around them, and you like that person. That person is genuinely magnetic because people are always coming back to them. And they're like, man, Ashley made me feel so good about myself. I love talking with Ashley. Have you talked to people where you come away feeling way sadder about the conversation? You're like, I don't really like that person that much. But when you give people a ton of energy because you're so abundant of self-love, that makes all the difference. So let's talk about EQ. And this is emotional intelligence. This matters so much. Here's what impresses quality men is a woman who can handle her emotions without making them everyone else's problem. It's not to say that she's like some droid that like doesn't get upset or ever. It doesn't mean you're even being perfect or that you never get upset. It means that you know how to communicate when something bothers you instead of expecting people to read your mind. I know I've been guilty of this too. When you like start getting mad, you just go silent instead of actually communicating your beliefs, thinking that people can read our minds. That you're just not melting down when plans change. If we talk about like, emotions over time, everyone's going to have crash out moments, right? But instead of being the person that's like, wow, it's like an emotional roller coaster, you still have the high points, still have the exciting points, but like you just don't dip nearly as low. And that person is very exciting to be around because, truthfully, people that can regulate their emotions, men and women, not that many people out there. So emotional intelligence is rare. And that's why when people find them, they're like, dang, I really like this person. Because like, you ever go traveling, things always go wrong. The hotel gets effed up, like the flight gets delayed. You want somebody that can just like kind of roll with the punches and is still optimistic and still full of energy in those environments. So again, emotional intelligence is rare. And when people find other people that have it, they want to travel with them, they want to have good times with them, and they become incredibly attracted to people that are pleasant to be around. There's this idea that men like the B word, like men love, I can't say it, I can't say it on stream, but you know what it is. This is not true. They don't love that. It actually drives them a little bit bonkers. Now, the problem is men do like women that have high standards. And nowadays, a lot of the women that have high standards are that word. So Don't shoot the messenger. That's just what it is. The other thing that is super attractive, you have your own life. You're independent. So nothing is more attractive than somebody who's genuinely excited about their own life, not someone who's constantly trying to look busy or interesting. And this is one thing I hate about dating advice is they'll often be like, oh, like, wait 3 hours to respond to him. Oh, do this thing. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to imitate somebody that has an amazing life. But if you're volunteering on charity boards, if you actually have like a robust work life, when you have your own goals, you have your own interests, you have your own friend group, you're not looking for someone to complete you. You're looking for someone to share an amazing life that you already have. That's incredibly appealing. Plus, when you have your own things going on, you're not available 24/7, right? You can't just be, available at the drop of the hat. You're not going to take these breadcrumbs, these last minute dates when somebody other woman canceled. It naturally creates healthy space in a relationship, and space does make the heart grow fonder. This is not to say use up every moment of your time and never see the guy. Of course, you have to spend time to build a relationship, but it's do not be overly available because you have built such an amazing life. Not just this crappy dating advice being like, oh, don't be available because that will increase your scarcity and that will increase your value. Yes, scarcity does increase value, but you'd rather live an amazing life and thus you're scarce. All right, let's get into this one. Authenticity. I mean, this one is so important these days. It's like there's just so much BS online and just in life that people like when they meet somebody that just tells it how it is, not in the way that they're being negative, but like, again, we're full of self-love. When we have this emotional intelligence, we're being authentic in the best way possible. And when you're genuinely yourself, instead of performing like a dancing monkey being like, oh, what does everyone else want to see from me? How can I just mold myself to be them? No, you're authentically you. And one advice I got when I first started making content online was be you harder. That's what I want you to do. Be you harder. This means admitting when you don't, want something. This means admitting when you're not interested in a particular content. Have opinions. Express them kindly. Laugh when something's actually funny, not when you think like, oh crap, I need to laugh right now. Right? Authentic people are rare because most of us are terrified of rejection. But here's the secret. When you're authentic, the right people are drawn to you and the wrong people, they filter themselves out. So this is all about being magnetic, right? Like a magnet, right? It attracts certain people and it repels other people. This is why the most like famous people are highly polarizing. They want to bring in their tribe. I'm sure 70% of the population loves Taylor Swift. I'm sure the other 30% of the population thinks she's horrible. So, there is no being super authentic, being super amazing without having some haters. It just goes, it comes with the territory. But hey, be authentic, be you. Because the only person you can be in the long run is you. Don't pretend to be somebody else because that is exhausting. You don't want to be an actor your entire life. And that's how relationships often devolve. Okay, let's go to how you treat people. This one comes as obvious, but it is so important. So pay attention to this one because how you treat people when you have nothing to gain from them, say the cab driver, the person at the front desk, the barista, are you kind to servers? Are you patient with people who are struggling? Are you respectful to people that can't do anything for you? And I think you should evaluate all guys on this as well. This is super important because quality men notice because they want to know how they'll be treated when the honeymoon period ends. They want to see your kindness is genuine or you're just acting to put on to try to impress people. Are you genuinely nice to people you meet? Default niceness is good. All right, let's go into communication. So communication that actually works. So most people communicate to either be right or win, and they view conversations almost as combative. Like they grew up around a bunch of lawyers, which I did. But attractive people, they communicate to be understood and to connect. This means asking questions because you're actually genuinely interested in the answer, listening to be understood, not just to respond. A lot of people, and this is something I had to learn, is I'm not just waiting my turn to insert the cool thing about me. It's like I'm actually listening to understand their point and then responding based off the things that they're telling me. Very few people are actively listening, and you will set yourself so far above the crowd by actually listening to people. And if you ever find yourself, there's a little trick here. If you ever find yourself zoning out of a conversation, repeat the last thing they said. So they could be talking about like some sports team. They're like, oh yeah, like we went to the Eagles games. And then you might just say, oh, the Eagles. You might just say, repeat the thing back, the Eagles game, with that kind of upward tonality. and they'll go deeper. They actually love it. Like if you ever just blank, they might say, "Oh yeah, I recently got into tennis," and you're like, "Tennis?" And they'll be like, "Yeah," like, they'll go into it. Trust me, this technique works good. It's called mirroring. You could call it parroting. Don't do it too many times in a row or people start to think you're a dum-dum, but just do it if you feel like you zoned out or if you just want more information on it. So again, when someone feels heard and understood, they naturally want to spend more time with you. It's so important that we ask people questions. One of the main complaints we get from women is that, the guy didn't ask me no questions on a date. I get the same complaint from men being like, hey, she didn't ask me many questions about my life, my goals, whatever. Same thing, two-way street. Think of a conversation like a game of tennis. Keep hitting the ball over the net. Don't be spiking it on it. Don't be trying to win the game. The goal is just to keep the ball moving back and forth. All right. And let's talk about self-respect. This is super important, and usually this comes naturally when we have a lot of the self-love, but I like to call it out as well. So let's talk about self-respect, and this isn't about having high standards just to seem valuable. This isn't trying to feign what like a princess would do. It's about valuing yourself enough not to accept treatment that makes you feel bad, right? Self-respect is leaving situations that consistently make you feel worse about yourself and speaking up when things don't feel right, not convincing somebody to choose you. And when you respect yourself, other people respect you too. People treat us, essentially, our energy tells people how to treat us. And having self-love, having this radiating optimism, all the things that we talked about before, respect is the foundation to getting the relationship that you want. They say that the energy we emit really teaches people how to treat us. And the faster we can say no to the wrong people, the quicker we can find our person. So many women that I work with, unfortunately, they're so attached to previous people in their life that they have a difficult time accepting new people in their life because they're so stuck on prior relationships. And that's one thing we work on really deeply in my community, link in the description, that rewriting those past love stories and rewriting those people out of our lives so we can move on is so important. So here's what I've learned. The women who effortlessly attract amazing partners, they aren't necessarily trying to attract people. They are attracting instead of chasing guys, right? They're genuinely in love with their own life. And I'm talking about being so involved in their own world, excited about what they're building, that they don't really have as much time to focus on, like, why did this guy take, 3 hours to respond to my text instead of the normal 1 hour he took? And when you possess this energy, people become magnetized to you, and they also get pushed out of your life because you're constantly attracting new people into it. And it's not all about like, oh, love yourself in some abstract way. It's actually loving your daily life, your goals, your work, your habits, your friendships, and your hobbies by being so absorbed in creating something meaningful that you don't necessarily check your phone. If you have a cool volleyball game over the weekend, you can't text back every 30 minutes. You are naturally scarce. And when people look at you, they see that you're 100% whole without anyone else. And that's rare. Most people, they're constantly seeking external validation or running from internal dissatisfaction. And hey, if your life isn't fully like this, take those 7 secrets and start applying them, because your life will improve so dramatically that you won't be focused on these low quality men. You'll wake up every single day excited because you're building a life that you want, and anyone would be happy to join it. I love you. Ciao.